Welcome to the Clermont County Board of Commissioners meeting for this May the 14th. Prior to starting our meetings, we always ask for local clergy to come and lead us in prayer. This morning, we have Captain James Peloso, the Salvation Army, from right here in Batavia, Ohio.
Yes,
Captain, thanks for being here this morning, and if you would lead us in prayer.
absolutely. If you will, please join me. Heavenly Father, thank you for having us all here this morning. Give us all clear minds as we go through today's proceedings, through today's meetings. Let our hearts be open to whatever's going to be said here this morning, and let it all be done for the greater good here of Clermont County. It's in your name we pray this morning. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And now to start our official meeting, we always start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Our county sheriff is here today, Chris Stratton. Chief Stratton, would you lead us in the pledge?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I now call this meeting on May the 14th to order. And our first piece of business is we need to acknowledge that Commissioner Corcoran is absent from today's regular meeting. She is excused, obviously doing other things this morning. So we would just like to make a note of that in the minutes. Second item is we have an addition to the agenda to add a motion for the appointment of a clerk pro tem to our regular agenda. Do I have a motion to add that to the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second that. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. And now a motion that the Board of Clermont County Commissioners hereby appoint Rebecca Goff, Assistant Clerk, the Board of Clermont County Commissioners, as Clerk Pro Tem for today's regular session meeting of May 14th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
And I will second that motion. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Thanks, Rebecca, for stepping in for Gail Frawley, who's out today. And we hope she's having a good time with some rest and relaxation. I am sure there'll be plenty for her to do when she gets back.
Because Becca's going to take
Becca's going to take a vacation now. Yeah, I don't blame her. Our next order of business is we have a proclamation. Oh, well, first item B is approval of regular session minutes of May 7th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second that motion. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Letter C is a proclamation designating May 12th through the 18th, 2024 as Police Week in Clermont County. And we are glad to have so much representation from our police departments and sheriff's department throughout Clermont County. Thanks for everything you do, and thanks for your dedication.
Sheriff Stratton, you want to come up and accept this? Chief Reese, you bring anybody and everybody. Bring them all, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Boy, do I feel safe. Thank you all for coming. We sent out that email and I was hoping we would get a good group of people and we did. Thank you.
Hey, and Bonnie, just keep in mind, they're armed. I mean, so.
I know. Step up here, Sheriff. You're going to get
I
this.
don't see Pierce.
Yeah, where is Pierce Township?
I guess they're patrolling my neighborhood.
Our neighborhood, right? Right. So May 14th is Police Week. We celebrate all of these men and women in uniform so much. So we do have a proclamation to celebrate Police Week in Clermont County, and we'll read all these whereases. It states, whereas Congress and the President of the United States of America have designated May 15th of each year as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week. And whereas there are over 1 million law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the local law enforcement agencies in Clermont County. And whereas law enforcement officers are our guardians of life, property, defenders of individual rights, serving on the front lines in the battle against crime and dedicated to the preservation of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And whereas Clermont County, Ohio desires to honor the valor, service, and dedication of the men and women who have devoted their professional lives to serving and protecting the citizens of our community. And whereas we as citizens need to pay tribute to the men and women who serve Clermont County in their capacity as law enforcement officers, citizens need to show appreciation for the remarkable job being done by police officers across our county every day. Now, therefore, it be proclaimed that we, the Board of County Commissioners, do declare the week of May the 11th through the 17th, 2025 as Police Week in Clermont County and encourage our citizens to join their communities across America in participating in Police Week activities. And it is signed by Commissioner David Painter, President of the Board, myself, Vice President, and Claire Corcoran as a member. And it is such an honor, and I appreciate Commissioner Painter letting me do this honor today.
All right,
Thank you, Chris.
thank you. I'll be brief. I too want to thank all of the men and women who wear the uniform. I think in the last 2 weeks, we saw a stark reminder of the risk that anybody who puts a uniform on at any given time takes. I would also thank the family. Many of us went to the services in Hamilton County, and we saw the family of the lost deputy who lost their life, what they were going through. So the support that families give us over the years is much appreciated. So, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for you all being here today. We'd love to take a picture.
And if I could just mention one other thing. The 21st is the police banquet in Clermont County. You can still get your tickets and go and support all of these courageous people. And it's at the Oasis. It's a wonderful event. I participated in that for many years now, and all well deserved.
Thanks.
Thank
Just to add on to that, just a second, the 21st was a standard meeting of the Clermont County Republican Party here in Clermont County. And the Republican Party is standing down to attend the police banquet in your honor.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right.
See you around the neighborhood, right?
All right. So how about a picture? You guys are going to have to come right here in a big circle, half circle.
I want to see you get all this.
I'm definitely not tall.
Yeah, I'm wearing the challenge shoes. So I guess I'm going on front.
Put all this bird. Oh, you got to come up front.
I know, I'm short.
No, you're good.
Always had to get in the front.
Actually, can we have you two, you're a good chair. You two.
You don't have any problem with this.
Never had it.
Let's see you get all
You
this.
have to get it just right.
I want to see all the faces. Here, and 3, 2, 1, and one more. I think I got it.
Thanks, David.
All right.
Thanks for all you guys do. Thanks.
I'm glad they got a good.
Next, under letter C, we have a proclamation designating May 12th through 18th. Designating May 2025 as Mental Health Month in Clermont County. And Leanne Watson is here to accept this proclamation from the Board of Commissioners.
Commissioner, that's Dr. Watson.
It is Dr. Watson, no question, no question. A proclamation, May is Mental Health Month in Clermont County,
year
May
she was in one.
2025. Whereas mental health is an essential part of overall well-being, impacting individual families and communities across Clermont County. And whereas 1 in 5 American adults experience a mental health condition each year, and everyone faces challenges in life that can impact their mental health. And whereas despite its prevalence, mental health remains shrouded in stigma, preventing many from seeking help. Whereas early intervention and access to quality care are crucial for managing mental health conditions and improving quality of life. And whereas May is recognized nationally as Mental Health Awareness Month, providing an opportunity to raise awareness, combat stigma, promote mental health resources, and turn awareness into action. Whereas we must recognize that preventing mental health problems and treating mental illness is necessary to maintain a healthy community where all of its residents can thrive. Mental health affects all of us, and it's critical that we move beyond awareness and take meaningful steps to our well-being, and that our community help is available 24/7 through the Clermont County, Brown County Crisis Hotline at 513-728-7283 or the national hotline at 988. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Clermont County Commissioners, do hereby declare the month of May 2025 as Mental Health Month in Clermont County, and especially thank the mental health services for their dedication to duty. And it's signed by David Painter, Commissioner Bonnie Batchelor, Commissioner Claire Corcoran of the Clermont County Board of Commissioners. Leanne, Dr. Watson, on behalf of the Clermont County Commissioners, please accept this proclamation for Mental Health Month.
Thank you so much.
And the podium is yours.
All right. Well, I will be short because you guys are getting ready to hear from me in just a minute. So this is a good reminder that mental health is part of overall health. So it is important for us to remember, in order to be healthy, you do have to take care of your mental health. So reach out. Help is always available 24/7 through our crisis hotline, 528-7283. So that crisis hotline, even though it's called a crisis hotline, is not just for crisis. It's also a line that you can use for resources. So please reach out. Don't suffer in silence. So thank you very much.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
That's right.
David was ready.
We weren't.
You were hoping,
I was
right?
hoping.
Why's that?
Oh, you're getting close.
Oh dear.
It's not as much. All right. Right here. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and one more. 3, 2, 1.
There you go.
You want to see some more of me in just a second?
We will move to letter D. Letter D is a presentation by Dr. Leanne Watson, Director of Mental Health and Recovery Board. Levy presentation.
Commissioner, if I can, Leanne and I were in Lee Clermont for a year together, and we kind of nicknamed her Dr. Watson.
Sure did. Some were calling me Doc. All right, yes, thank you for reminding me. So you don't have to do it for me. Thank you. Thank you. All right, good morning again. Situated. So thank you for your time today. I appreciate you letting me come today and present on the board's request to be on the ballot in November with a renewal and a 0.5 increase. I know that now might not be the best time to do that request, and we would not be asking for that if it wasn't absolutely necessary. So I'm here to explain why we need to do that. I wanted to tell you that I am really so honored to lead the publicly funded behavioral health system in Clermont County. And the board is really values the trust that the commissioners give and that the county residents give in us to use that tax levy dollars to help our residents. And it really does help our residents reach recovery. And we really do appreciate that. And we continue to be good stewards of that money. All right, I just wanted to give a really quick kind of update reminder of what the board is. So we are the mandated behavioral health authority under ORC 340. So we do not provide services. We contract out for services. And our contract providers are Greater Cincinnati Behavioral Health for adult mental health and adult substance use services. Our children's behavioral health provider is Child Focus. They're also our contract crisis service provider. And we have many things that we are mandated to do in the community, but these kind of are just in a nutshell our main duties. To assess the behavioral health needs of our county residents, plan for behavioral health services to meet those needs, fund those services, and then evaluate and monitor the publicly funded system in the county. So we serve as a safety net for our county residents who have no insurance or have a high deductible to allow them to access services regardless of the ability to pay. All right, so I'm sure you've noticed in the news over the past several years that the need for behavioral health services has increased dramatically. There's been literally lots of attention paid to the fact that the rates of depression, anxiety, misuse of alcohol, overdoses have increased dramatically throughout the U.S. So much so that youth mental health, the Surgeon General declared youth mental health to be in a crisis state. And so that's pretty scary. That happened actually in 2022, and it continues to get worse as we go through the years. So that is also happening locally. So I wanted to share some local data. This is from the Clermont County Public Health Community Health Assessment. This is from 2020. I also have information I'll share with you from 2024. But this shows that from their health assessment that behavioral health, including mental health and substance use, was ranked first and second in categories in terms of the health issues in our county, the major health issues in our county that needed to be addressed. 44% of respondents that took the survey reported that they had one or more days where their mental health was considered bad. What that means is that they were reporting that they had some type of mental health distress at least once a month. In 2020, addiction was reported to be the #1 health-related issue. So in 2024, when public health redid this health assessment, everything was the same. So again, behavioral health was ranked as the #1 health concern in the county. But what changed was mental health became the #1 health-related issue instead of addiction. So that was interesting. And we're also seeing that same thing across our service providers. Just similar, Clermont County Public Health also takes that information that they get from the needs assessment and turns that into a improvement plan to address those health issues. So those are the top health issues that they developed a plan to address. So again, all those issues are behavioral health related. The Mental Health and Recovery Board also does needs assessments. We began doing that 3 years ago, and you'll see that we are also getting the same results, with mental health being the highest rated issue that's impacting our residents' well-being. We also asked what services residents thought needed more availability or more access. Crisis came out as #1, so access to crisis services. Counseling or therapy was one, and then psychiatric services, and that means access to medications. Okay, so if the need is increased, obviously utilization of services is going to increase along with that. So here's a snapshot of what our local service use is looking like. We've seen a 53% increase in crisis services since 2020, which was the last time we were on the ballot, and a 365% increase since 2010. That's important to notice because crisis services are not just for people in our behavioral health system. Those services are for people in our county. So people in our county are accessing those services, not just people in our system, if that makes sense. So that's showing that the need is great for people in our county. We've also seen, as I said earlier, the mental health needs for youth have substantially increased. So we've seen a 43% increase in youth seeking services since 2010. 45% increase in the number of individuals seeking substance use treatment since 2015. That's not surprising due to the opioid epidemic. We've also seen a 20% increase in individuals with a severe and persistent mental illness being served since 2018. So surprisingly, the board funding touches 25,000 individuals or residents in our county each year, or 1 in 8 residents, either through mental health or substance use treatment, prevention services, crisis services, or education. So that's pretty astounding. So again, that's either through treatment, prevention services in the schools, crisis services, or education that we provide. And obviously, if we had more funding, we'd be able to reach more in our county. I know you can't read this, but you've been given this information on a handout at some point. But this shows the services that are provided in the system of care that the board funds. The non-mandated services are highlighted. This is broken out in terms of mental health and substance use services. And the ones that have an asterisk by it are ones that are for both mental health and substance use. I highlighted the ones that are non-mandated by the state, just to show that those are the ones that will be vulnerable for cuts if we do not have adequate funding in our system. And I also want to point out that we do a lot of services attached to our criminal justice system in the county. So we have, I'm sure you guys are all familiar, we have a jail linkage program. In the jail, we have a jail liaison that does a lot of work with the court. We work with juvenile court, we work with municipal court, common pleas court, probate court, juvenile court. So we are with all the courts in the county. Services by the number. So this just gives you a sense of, the services that are provided with some of the programs that we have. So our crisis hotline, we continue to see an increase in our hotline services. I don't know if you guys are aware that 988 came online a couple of years ago. That's the national hotline, and we were very fortunate that our local hotline became the 988 call center. We were so fortunate that happened, and even when that came online, we have not seen that big of an increase with the 988 calls because people aren't quite, all the way aware of it yet. So even with that is not accounted for this increase that we're seeing in our hotline calls. So from July 1st, so the beginning of the fiscal year, to March 1st, we've seen almost 3,800 hotline calls. So that's a 17% increase just in that time frame. So we continue to see each year this number increasing. That represents, again, a 42% increase of youth making those calls. We see for 2014, and this is what we see each year, an average of about 100 inmates, the jail liaison screens each month, and an average of 60 of those inmates are referred to services out in the community, and that results in a recidivism rate of about 30%. So people that are referred to services that actually follow through and connect, a lot of those do not end up being rejailed. In February, Clermont Recovery Centers had 551 people in medication-assisted treatment. So that's good. And then you'll see those are employment retention numbers for Clermont Recovery Center. Child Focus served almost 3,500 students in their school-based mental health program. And I wanted to point out the community crisis response team. So that is a program that is completely funded by our levy funds. And that is a program where we go out in the community, trained mental health professionals, licensed mental health professionals, go out whenever there's some type of traumatic event that's happened in the community, and provides debriefings. So that happens, for instance, when a teacher has died at a school, so they go in and do debriefings with the students and with the teachers. We responded down to Moscow when there was the tornado. We respond when there's floods. We responded here to an office when there was a situation. We responded when there's been very traumatic trials, so that kind of thing. So we've already had, through February, we've already had 22 responses with traumatic events this year. That is unheard of. We usually have about that, not even that for the year. So there's a lot of stuff going on this year. Okay, I know I need to get moving here because you guys gave me 10 minutes. And I'm probably already at 10 minutes. Okay, so here's our board revenue. Just shows you 41% is state, 36% is federal, 22% is our levy, and 1% is miscellaneous. This is why I'm here today. Our levy collections don't increase with inflation. So we bring in almost 3.3 million a year. Our last increase was in 2015. And as you can see, that does not keep up with the incredible inflation that is happening. If it did, we would be bringing in about 5 million. And that continues, that rate of inflation obviously keeps going up, and our number continues to stay flat, even though these needs that I've been talking to you about continue to rise. So we just can't keep up. The money can't keep up with the needs. So we continue to look for additional funding constantly. So we're writing grants all the time. We have collaborative funding with different partners in the community, with Clermont DD for group home placements with shared clients. We do collaborative funding with other boards in our area. We pull funding with Family and Children First for placements. We work with municipal court for people that have an alcohol use disorder that are indigent, so that they assist with funding for services. You can see on the right side all the grants that we've done to bring in funding to support different programming. I'll point out the One Ohio Foundation funding. We did bring in $1 million to support the Crisis Receiving Center. That's only one-time funding, though, for 1 year. And we did just recently apply for appropriation from Senator Marino, fingers crossed, to support the Crisis Receiving Center as well. Board expenditures, you can see here where we spend our money. It's 36% of the funding is for substance use disorders. The reason for that is because the state mandates that we have a full continuum for substance use treatment, and so a lot of our funding is earmarked for that. Also, 10% of our funding is operations. That is very low compared to other boards. We really try to stay lean in that area because we want all the funding as possible to go to treatment. 5-year projection without the levy increase, you can see that we are already deficit spending. The reason for that is that we received over an $800,000 cut recently from the state with very little notice. And we also have some grant funding that's ending. And so we are already deficit spending without this Crisis Receiving Center coming online. It's going to continue to happen in 26. We are going to need to make some cuts in 26. You'll see that that'll continue in 27 as we bring the Crisis Receiving Center online. We do have that $1 million funding, as I told you, from One Ohio, that's one time. But you'll see the revenues in 2028 are not keeping up with our expenses. So we need this levy increase. Does anybody have questions on that? Okay. So here's information on the 0.5 mil increase. So for $100,000 home, it would be $32.98 a year for that would be the new cost for the homeowner. The cost now is $15.48, which is an increase of $17.50 for the year, or $2.75 a month. $2.75 a month. All right, impact of adequate levy funding. Obviously, just that we'll continue to be able to provide access to needed services as the need for services grows. We'll be able to close gaps in services. We have a lot of gaps that we need to continue to work on, and we'll be able to operate this crisis receiving center. Without adequate funding, we will not be able to operate this center 24/7. And that's really what in order to be beneficial to our police, we need to have it open 24/7. You guys know the impact of the receiving center. It's really going to help our law enforcement. It's going to decrease the behavioral health calls. It's going to divert behavioral health calls into the behavioral health system where they belong, and decriminalize behavioral health concerns, and in the end, improve health outcomes. I want to thank our community partners that we do a lot of things with, a lot of projects with, and mention that I somehow deleted public health off of here when I was trying to line up these partners. They're a huge partner of ours, and I apologize for somehow leaving them off because they do a lot of stuff with us. All right, so questions.
Leanne, I will just say the crisis center, you mentioned the police. These people don't need to go to jail.
No,
They need to go where they're going to get the help they need.
they do.
And, talk about that just a little. One of the things that doesn't really get talked about when it comes to that, when you're talking about having trained law enforcement people in the field, I mean, that's wonderful. They're all CIT trained.
Yes.
And, our county is really heavy in that kind of training to law enforcement people. But that's not their first responsibility to the public. Their first responsibility to the public is to ensure their safety. And so they are going to ensure their safety every time that they can. But when you train people, then what comes with that is a liability. It's kind of like if you're the first person on a emergency scene, the person that has the credentials takes over that scene. As people come on the scene that have better credentials, a lot of times they move on to take over that scene. When it comes to police officers, they're there to secure people's safety, but they have to make a call, and they make that call to a crisis team, and that crisis team is en route. So the whole time that the crisis team is en route and they are having to deal with somebody who's in crisis, they are in a very vulnerable situation.
Correct.
Because if the decision they make is deemed not in the best interest of the person in crisis, but in the best interest of public safety, then all of a sudden, obviously, families come up and take a look at that and say, we don't think that they acted in a proper manner, and that liability can be heavy. Clermont County has experienced a liability like that before that worked itself out when it came to the court system. But you have to understand that having a crisis center to where that person can be delivered as quickly as possible to that center, where the people who are there trained can triage those services that they have to better assist somebody in crisis, it is huge. And diverting them from the jail, where again,
Right.
that same liability is in play.
Right. Well, it's interesting, and it's so unfortunate that the behavioral and Governor DeWine has said this. The behavioral health system was never fully developed, so we do not have all the resources nationwide to support all the needs of people with a severe mental illness. And so what's happened, because we don't, is that law enforcement has become literally the front line to deal with people, and so that should never have been, but that's what's happened. And so we need to have these and jails have become the hospital. And so we need to have these receiving centers where law enforcement, because they're the front line, can bring people to get them connected to the mental health system. The hospital has never been the place to bring people. They don't have the training to deal. They're not mental health experts in the ED.
And if you've ever been on a scene
Yeah.
where you see those two entities work, as the law enforcement ensures the safety and does everything they can for the person in crisis.
Right.
When the crisis team actually arrives, it's a completely different sight.
Absolutely.
The sense of urgency immediately goes down
Absolutely.
because they have the right people on the scene to take care of what needs to be treated now. So, absolutely.
Well,
So
we're
thanks.
very proud of our mobile crisis team. They're actually getting an award at the law enforcement banquet, and we're so proud of them. And that is a very expensive service, by the way. That cost us almost $600,000 a year. And so but we will keep that because it is very valuable to our community. Yes, definitely.
So thanks for being here today, Dr. Watson.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me.
I hope anyone in the community that gets a chance to watch this today, has a complete understanding of what the real need is.
Thank
And
you.
what the importance of it is.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time.
Thank you.
I hope I didn't go over too much.
No, you did not. Don't worry about that. Tom, anything we need to do with this particular levy at this particular junction?
No, not at this time. So the board, you'll have to pass 2 resolutions, but that doesn't come until 90 days prior to the election, which will be sometime in
Okay.
July.
Got it. Okay. Seeing no other presentations, we will move to letter E. Letter E is public participation. Is there anyone here today that would like to participate from the public or speak to the board? Yes, absolutely. Come on up to the podium and tell us your name and your address for the
I know
record.
she had to do that now.
And before you start, I have to give a little thing that during this time, the board doesn't answer questions nor engage in debate. No member of the public may comment about a matter that is not within the purview of the commissioner's responsibilities. We're not expected to comment on matters brought before the board, and you will have 5 minutes after being recognized by the president. You are duly recognized. So tell us who you are.
Isla Hucker, 1320 Meeks Drive.
What's that? Go ahead again.
My name
Yes.
again, Isla Hucker, 1320 Minks Drive.
Thanks, Hala, for being here.
I was following up on what the young lady said. I went to the Union Township meetings, and you were talking about the officers, that not being their role, and his wasn't. But there was a woman that came to talk to about an officer who, I can't remember what her crisis was, but after the incident, every once in a while, if he was driving by, he would check in on her. And it's that hope, knowing that somebody cares, and just paying whatever they're in to stop. And, money is great, but it was that connection that made the difference with that young lady.
Mhm.
So I don't know dollars with the increase in everything. It was more that connection with her. I don't think it would have mattered if he brought her anything. It would have been the person he didn't, but I'm saying it wouldn't have been giving her stuff. It was the connection that made a difference with her. And she talked about how different her life was just with meeting this one officer.
Great.
So, and that was it.
You bet. They do a lot for our community, that's for sure. Anyone else like to speak? Seeing none, I'll close public participation. We will move to letter F. Letter F is consent agenda. Board, you've had this consent agenda early, had an opportunity to review it. Are there any items that need to be removed?
No.
Okay. Then I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I will make that motion.
I'll second that motion. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes. We will move to letter G. Letter G is the non-consent agenda. It starts with item number 12. Item 12 is a recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt resolution number 051-25 to approve payment to vendors in the total amount of $4,529,821.27 as outlined in the BCC approval invoice reports for checks dated May 14, 2025. BCC directed prepaid invoice reports and the procurement card transaction report is presented by the county auditor on May 12, 2025, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants pursuant to and in compliance with section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 13. Item number 13 is Desmond Maytalk. Desmond, good to see you this morning.
Good morning. Yes, item 13 is a recommendation to execute a contract for public services between the Board of County Commissioners of Clermont County, Ohio, and Harsing Associates, LLC, out of Lexington, Ohio, attached hereto and made a part thereof, in the amount of $46,720 for the preparation of a 5-year consolidated plan and 2025 annual action plan for the period of 2025 through 2029, as required by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, for Clermont County's continued participation in the Community Development Block Grant Program and the Home Investment Partnerships Program, as outlined in the attached Exhibit A from their proposal dated April 29th, 2025, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 13. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Desmond. Item number 14, transportation. Andy Mays. Oh, change?
Funny looking Andy.
You bet.
Good morning, Board. Jessica Powell.
Morning.
I'm here to read off the recommendation to adopt Resolution 052-25, resolving to authorize Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to execute the grant contract number TUTP 4067 GRF 251, by and between the Clermont County Board of County Commissioners and the State of Ohio, Department of Transportation, Office of Transit, located at 1980 West Broad Street in Columbus, Ohio 43223, for the state fiscal year of 2025 for the Urban Transit Program in the amount of $197,995 to be used as match for operating assistance.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 14. Do I have a motion?
Yes, I'll make the motion.
It's been moved, and I'll second that motion. Any further conversation or discussion? Hearing none. Rebecca, roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 15.
All right. This one is a recommendation to adopt Resolution 053-25, authorizing the adoption of the revised Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan, previously approved by the Board of County Commissioners on February 12th, 2025, and to authorize David L. Painter, President of the Board of County Commissioners, or in his absence, any other member of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute the signature page of the Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan, drafted and certified by the Ohio Department of Transportation.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 15. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion. Any further conversation?
Just really quickly, I just want to have Jessica, I knew she probably anticipating the question, but what does adopting the safety plan now do for us?
So for this, this was a finding on our triennial audit, and it's just we had to adopt the safety plan previously in February, but there were a couple of updates that needed to be done after that. So we went ahead and did that. With this, it updates from the 2024 adjustments, and then now this opens us up to actually be able to apply for another grant.
So we had a suggested deficiency that needed to be addressed.
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right.
Now we can apply for, we have access to our grant funds.
And this was there were updates that were done in 2024, and it just didn't get put through. So.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Thanks, Jessica. Item number 16, Chris.
Board.
Morning.
Item number 16 is a recommendation to approve the request to advertise for bids for the juvenile detention HVAC replacement pursuant to the plans and specifications therefore, and to authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in the newspaper of general circulation on Thursday, May 22nd, 2025, scheduling a mandatory pre-bid meeting on Thursday, May 29th, 2025 at 10 a.m. local time to be held at the Juvenile Detention Center located at 2340 Clermont Center Drive in Batavia, Ohio. With the bids to be received until 2 p.m. local time on Thursday, June 26, 2025, in the office of the Board of County Commissioners, 101 East Main Street, Batavia, Ohio, where they would be open and publicly open and read aloud shortly thereafter. This notice will also be posted on the Clermont County homepage under legal notices at the link provided.
After hearing the reading of item number 16, do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve.
And I will second that motion. Any conversation or discussion? What's the rough order of magnitude on this particular job?
So this has a couple of units that sit outside that are getting past their prime also with the refrigerant changes that we have coming down the line. Those are some of our older that takes R22. So those units are actually getting past their useful life. Plus the units that are sitting there, there's several of them that need to be replaced, and the cost to replace those to get them back up and running compared to what we'd have to move to in the future, we're going to go ahead and move forward with replacing these units. That also takes in account some units and devices that are inside communication wise, and some coils and stuff inside that unit, inside that building as well.
Okay.
So it's a very large undertaking, something that needs to be done with the units that are there. So it'll definitely help it, once it's all finished.
Did the engineer have a cost on it? Was there a rough?
I think the preliminary is somewhere in the close to the total with estimates and the labor stuff. It's about the $1 million mark.
Okay, that's it.
1.8.
Yep.
1.8.
I wasn't exactly sure, but I knew it was.
Well, that's, close enough, We'll see how the bids come in. That's always how it works,
They
right?
do have an alternate in there for the gymnasium. That was something that the juvenile detention facility wanted to upgrade also. So that's an alternate that's in there, whether that comes back and gets approved by the board.
Okay. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item 17.
17 is a recommendation to approve progress payment number 36 and release the retainage in the amount of $13,000 plus any applicable interest earned to Mark Spalding Construction at 5785 Constitution Drive, Florence, Kentucky, for the completion of the juvenile court expansion renovation project previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 1/26/2022, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth within the contract for juvenile court expansion renovation.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 17. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second that. Any conversation or discussion? Is this it for that particular job? We're done, huh?
This would be for the contractor side. We would be finished. Obviously, we still have some warranty stuff that, we have up until I believe it's middle or end of June till that warranty runs out. So obviously getting those back in for any kind of warranty issues. We do have the sealant going on at juvenile detention or at juvenile court. We ran into some issues with it. So we're working with the vendor to get that ratified and get those fixed.
That's on the tile.
Yes.
Yep.
And that was not part of the contract.
Okay. Is there anything out there that really needs attention when it comes to?
No, there's just a few small things. It's nothing
Okay.
real major. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, good job. It was a big undertaking. That was for sure. No doubt about that. So thanks to everybody that worked on that. Roll call, Rebecca.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Item number 18.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Kiara Swartz, your kennel administrator. I'm here for a recommendation to approve and authorize the implementation of the foster agreement for the Clermont County Dog Kennel effective upon approval.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 18. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second that. Any conversation, discussion?
You want to explain this a little bit, maybe?
So this is a new foster agreement that the staff have been working on before I started. It started end of March. We're just getting it approved. It's a new limit on the foster, depending on case-by-case basis, but we are limiting the foster period to 3 months, depending on the dog. And it's updated information. Before, our foster program was run primarily by volunteers. So now we're kind of reeling it back in. The staff's handling it. My information is on there, as well as our administrative assistant, kennel supervisor, even our chief dog warden for legal questions, as well as our vet tech. So that way fosters don't get confused, and they can contact us directly.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
No.
Roll call, Rebecca.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 19. Lyle Bloom, you're going to be up here a while.
Yeah, I've got a few items. Item 19 is a recommendation to execute an extension of contract between Clermont County and SOS LLC, doing business as Southern Ohio Sanitation out of Batavia, for sludge and raw wastewater hauling services for the Water Resource Department. And this was previously ratified by the board on August 7th, 2024. And this will be for an additional 1-year period through August 24th, 2026. Pursuant to and in compliance with Article 8 of the contract, with all other terms and conditions to remain in full force and effect, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order.
Board, you heard the reading number 19. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
And I will second. Any further conversation or discussion?
Yes, sir.
Roll call, Rebecca.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 20.
Item 20 is a recommendation to authorize David L. Painter, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute change order number 1 to the contract with Rack and Ballore Excavating Company out of Hamilton, Ohio. This was previously ratified by the board on December 4th, 2023 for the Hopper Hill Road Water Main Replacement Project located in Pierce and Union Townships, and represents a decrease in the amount of $72,907.33 for a total adjusted contract price to date of $2,683,962.67, as well as a non-compensable time extension of 28 calendar days for a revised contract completion date of October 31st, 2024. And this is the final change order on the contract.
Board, you heard the reading of item number 20. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion. Any further conversation? Roll call, Rebecca.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 21.
Item 21 is a recommendation to award the bid and execute the contract for the MGS Water Treatment Plant Building Improvements Project located in Miami Township, pursuant to the plans and specifications to Structural Systems Repair Group, LLC, out of Cincinnati, Ohio, for their sole bid received on April 3rd, 2025, at the item prices as outlined in their base bid and alternate bid, for a total amount not to exceed $220,510 in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order. So this will involve replacing the entire roof on the water treatment plant, which is currently, we have some leaks in it. So.
Okay. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 21. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Rebecca.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 22.
Item 22 is a recommendation to award the bid and execute the contract for the Legendary Trails Sanitary Sewer Collection System Project located in Pierce Township, pursuant to the plans and specifications to Unger Construction out of West Union, Ohio, for their lowest and best bid received on March 27th, 2025. At the item prices as outlined in their bid, for a total amount not to exceed $2,082,499 in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order. So this is the subdivision in Pierce Township that has the individual drip irrigation systems that are essentially septic systems that the county operates and maintains as public sewer. They've reached their end of their useful life. It's most effective for us, instead of trying to replace each individual system at the tune of probably $80,000 to $100,000 each, and there's 34 of them, to put in small or low pressure force main, and each home will have an individual grinder pump to pump their wastewater into, and it will eventually be conveyed to conventional public sewer.
And there have been some failures with some of those
Correct.
systems in that community.
Our staff are always reporting or responding to alarms.
High level alarms.
Yeah, for their pumps are down, control panels fail.
Or the alarm didn't go off in the basement.
Yes. I know our staff will be very happy to get rid of it.
You bet. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 22. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item 23.
Item 23 is A recommendation to execute a contract for professional services between the board and Ohio Valley Environmental Engineering, doing business as Environmental Engineering Service out of Lebanon, Ohio, for project number 6402-60228 for the construction administration services for the Legendary Trail Sanitary Sewer Collection System project in Pierce Township, for their proposal dated December 6, 2024, in an amount not to exceed $119,000, with said services to be completed within 180 consecutive calendar days upon issuance of a written notice to proceed from the Water Resources Department, exclusive of county review time and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order. So they will assist with the construction admin of that construction project. They were involved very regularly with the homeowners to help design each individual system. So they'll have individual meetings with the contractor and the property owner before they get on their property as well, and then review all the shop drawings, submittals, and everything else associated with the project.
Thank you. Board, you've heard reading of item number 23. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
Second, roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item 24. Thanks, Lyle.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board. Angie Levacy, Deputy Assistant County Administrator. Yeah, that's right. Recommendation to execute the extension of the contract for services for the operation of the Community Alternative Sentencing Center, also known as CASC, with Greater Cincinnati Behavioral Health Services of Cincinnati, Ohio, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on May 24th, 2023, and subsequently renewed on May 22nd, 2024, which represents the second of 4 available one-year renewal options pursuant to Section 3 of the Contract for Services in an amount not to exceed $803,341, effective June 3rd, 2025 through June 2nd, 2026, pursuant to Section 307932 of the Ohio Revised Code, with all other terms and conditions of the contract for services to remain in full force and effect and contingent upon the release of required purchase order.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 24. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Been moved, and I'll second. Any further conversation? Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 25.
Item 25 is the recommendation to execute the extension of the lease agreement for the operation of CASC with Greater Cincinnati Behavioral Health Services of Cincinnati, Ohio, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on May 24th, 2023, subsequently renewed on May 22nd, 2024, which represents the second of 4 available one-year renewal options pursuant to Section 3 of the lease agreement, with a requirement that the lessee pay the lessor the sum of $1 for the rental period, effective June 3rd, 2025 through June 2nd, 2026, pursuant to Section 307932 of the Ohio Revised Code, with all other terms and conditions of the lease agreement to remain in full force and effect.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 25. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. That concludes our our non-consent agenda, and now we'll move on to letter H for additions to the agenda. Any additions to the agenda?
We have 2 additions. One's amendment to the contract for the public defender edition, and then we also have a reduction in our dog adoption fees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just those 2?
Yeah, at the moment, yes.
Okay. Board, you've heard the need to add 2 items to the agenda. One is for the recommendation of a amendment number 1 to a existing contract for the public defender's office. The other is animal shelter recommendation to temporarily lower the employee stock. Do I have a motion to add these 2 to the agenda?
I'll make the motion to add.
And I will second it. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. So we will move on with these 2 additions. Tom, can we take the amendment number 1 first?
Yeah. Chris Turner?
Hello again.
Hey, Chris.
Recommendation to execute amendment number 1 to the contract with Kramer and Feldman, Inc., 7636 Production Drive, Cincinnati, Ohio, for the Public Defender Office Addition Project, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on 12/11/2024, and subsequently amended for a net increase in the amount of $17,800, which represents, for example, the existing shingles, new ice and water barrier, new shingles, new construction doors, and any addition to match the original existing facility, and costs associated with project shutdown for a total adjusted contract price in the amount of $335,125, as more fully described therein pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth with contract, the Public Defender's Office edition. So this amendment, we had talked with the public defenders, obviously our project manager. We have the addition to the back of the public defender's office. Well, matching up the shingles, you're going to have 2 different color shingles there, and the shingles that are existing on that building are aging. So we decided to go ahead and do an amendment to have that whole entire roof replaced. Once we do the addition, we have some painting going on the inside, some carpet replacement, and those shingles. That building will be, as far as a maintenance side of it, will be pretty well up to date at that point. So we figured this way it's just going to be a less of a footprint. If we had to come back and redo shingles at a later date, we'd still have to get with the village for shutdowns on roads, that type of stuff. And we also have disruption to obviously the courthouse next door and public defender building. So let's do it one time.
You've heard the need for some additional work at the public defender's new office, or I should say new office addition. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
It's been moved and I'll second that motion. Any further conversation or clarification? By the way, framing looks great. Inside of the building looks good. You know, it was being kept very clean. It looked, I'm sure they've taken a look at it as far as safety.
Yep.
And it was a little wet when I was up there. You know, it's still getting through the roof.
Shortage of wet.
Has the roof been dried in now? Have they put tar paper on the roof or?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Good. But looked nice. Well, roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. We will move to the next item, which is Clermont County Animal Shelter and temporarily lowering the imposed dog adoption fees.
Hi.
How are you?
I have a recommendation to adopt resolution number 05425, hereby temporarily lowering the county imposed dog adoption fees for dogs adopted on May 14th, 2025 through June 30th, 2025 for dogs aged over 12 months to help alleviate the unusually high number of dogs being cared for, fed, and housed pursuant to section 955 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Board, you've heard the recommendation for temporarily lowering the imposed dog adoption fees. Do I have a motion for
I
approval?
will make that motion.
And I will second. Any further conversation or discussion? I know we have a lot of dogs. Are those dogs all available for option at this point, or is there still some things that have to be done before that can be done?
Not at this point. Some of them are still on animal control hold. So.
Yep, we totally understand. Okay, no problem. But great to lower those fees to let some of them go to, forever homes. So
Absolutely.
it's a great thing.
Yes. I also wanted to mention we have our flyer up here. We have another adoption event this weekend, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Pet Supplies Plus in Milford. It's going to be about the same as the last one. We're going to try and bring about 5 to 6 dogs. We have a lot of volunteers signed up to help us with that. So I will personally be at this one. I couldn't attend the last one, but I'll be there and a couple other staff members with some volunteers. And hopefully this will help with the population as well.
Is this beautiful dog going to be one of them?
Yes, that's
I can't
Bear.
Imagine that one not getting a home. Tom?
Yep, we're going to try and bring Bear. So
Tom
hopefully
needs
we'll have
a
a volunteer
dog.
to take him. Yeah, that is all I have.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. At this time, is that all of the additions, Tom?
That's all the additions at this time.
Okay, I will move to letter I. I'm requesting an executive session pursuant to section 121.22 G3 of the Ohio Revised Code to confer with the attorney for our board concerning disputes involving the board that are the subject of pending or imminent court action. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make the motion so Tom can, he wants me to shut up over here.
I'll second. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, we will enter into executive session. We will return and we will conduct further business. Thank you. returned from executive session. There were no decisions made and no actions taken. We will move on with our regular agenda. We'll go back for a second. Are there any further additions to the agenda, Tom?
Commissioners, we do have one, and this is a motion to authorize myself, the county administrator, to sign court documents.
Board, you've heard the need for a addition to the agenda for authorizing Thomas J. Agel, the administrator, to be able to sign some court documents. Do I have a motion to add it to the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that. Roll call, Rebecca.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes, and I understand that we have Brian Tribe here today to bring us up to date on this one.
Good morning, Commissioners. I have a motion to authorize Thomas J. Igel, County Administrator, to sign discovery responses and other lawsuit documents as may be necessary on behalf of the Clermont County Board of County Commissioners in litigation entitled Mark Lovell v. Clermont County Board of County Commissioners et al. In the United States District Court, Southern District of Ohio, Western Division, case number 1:23-CB-00114.
Thank you. You've heard the need for the reading of the resolution that we've just added to the agenda. Do we have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I will second that motion. Any further conversation or discussion? Roll call, Rebecca.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Counselor.
Further additions, sir?
No further additions? Then we will move on to letter J. Letter J is county staff elected official discussions. Any county staff or elected official discussions today?
I have something.
Sure.
We have a scheduling conflict for Wednesday, May 21st. You guys have an event to attend to that morning. If we could move session that day until 12:30 instead of 10 a.m.
12:30 instead of 10 a.m. You heard the need to make a change in our regular schedule on May 21st to move from 10 a.m. to 12:30 in the afternoon.
Yes.
And I think that conflict is Memorial Day parade at Willowville Elementary School. That is something that's been going on for years and years.
Fun event with the kids.
You bet. You bet. Do I have a motion?
I will make that.
And I'll second that. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. So we have made that change on the general schedule. So
Thank you.
that works out good. Any other county staff elected official discussions? Hearing none, I'll move to K, which is member comments. Members, any comments today?
Commissioner, can I give just a little update on the Veterans Village?
Absolutely.
I had a phone call this week from a lady inquiring about it. Our schedule right now, we will finally break ground on December 1st. I know it's a horrible time. Just pray for a mild winter. And we're going to start, instead of the 28, we have enough money to do 19 of the cottages and the community center. Still working, still having meetings, trying to get that other $1.5 million. But that right now is the schedule. And the lady that called me, since we first announced that we were going to build this village to get some of these veterans a nice place to live, they've been making handmade quilts to give to each and every one when they move into these cottages, and couch throws. When they're watching TV, they can cover up. I thought that was fantastic. And they meet over at the Civic Center in Union Township every Wednesday, and they work on these quilts. I thought that was just fantastic. So December 1st, get your shovels ready.
December 1st. No, that's a great project to have here in Clermont County. And, you know, the need for homeless veterans is great. Not only in our county, but many of the other
Everywhere.
counties. So I think that'll be fantastic.
You know, I made the statement at the very beginning when we had our news conference. They served us. Now let's step up and serve them. So no veteran should be living on a street.
I'll be making a trip later this afternoon up to Columbus, and I will be giving testimony in front of the Senate for House Bill 96 and a proposal that they have made to reduce funding for naloxone. Naloxone is called Narcan. And so Narcan has always been provided by the state to our Mental Health and Addiction Recovery Board, and that has been made free of charge to many of the agencies all around Clermont County and surrounding areas, including people's families. And so there's a proposed $3 million reduction in that for the next 2 fiscal years. And so we're going to provide some bipartisan testimony to try to get their attention to make sure that that reduction doesn't happen. The fact that you have Narcan available for substance use disorder has caused a huge reduction in the number of opioid deaths that actually occur in Clermont County. And in fact, this is the lowest that we have had in many, many years that we experience right now because of that. It's hard to put an exact number on how that works. We know the ones that it's actually used on by first responders. What we don't know are the people who have family members that have had to use it, in a family setting where we ask everybody to call 911 that ever uses, a Narcan device, on a person. But we know that, there are many that we don't get to report. So obviously very important, hope to make a difference with some testimonies. So just wanted to let you know that honored to do it, and honored to represent the citizens of Clermont County in an endeavor like that. So we'll be up there with the County Commissioners Association of Ohio, and we'll try to make a difference today. So thanks.
Of all cuts, how could you cut something like that to save so many lives? I don't get it.
We hope that doesn't stay that way. Any other member comments? Then I will ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that motion so you can head up.
You bet. And I will second that. Roll call, Rebecca.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes. Thank you for attending our meeting today. This 14th day of June. It would be June. 14th day of May. It would be a lot nicer if we didn't have this rain, I guess.
Maybe it was 14th of June and
Right.
be out of here
Well,
finally.
that'd be great. But yeah, we've had a lot of rain recently, no question. So thanks for being here today. And for those folks who are at home and watching this electronically, we're glad you tuned in today. Thank you.